Welcome to the Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. How's everybody doing? Shout out to everybody who's here. Shout out to Melissa. She says, what would you do? Sell your BTC and run to buy AI stocks or buy lower price crypto? Well, if you're asking me specifically, I would say I'd buy BTC. Honestly, I mean, AI stocks have been running. The Lifer brought this up today and was talking about it a little bit, so I could easily piggyback off of what he was saying because he's an extremely smart guy. They're already running, so you're going to buy a lot of that AI stocks. I don't know if it'll be the top, but they've been running. Let's put it that way. Could they run higher? Certainly. They could keep running for the next 10 years, technically. You know, there's nothing that has to say they have to come back because we don't know where the top is. We don't know how far they could actually go. But, you know, you're not buying the bottom of them. That's for sure. Happy dump day. Yeah, we'll see how many people come on a dump day. Thank you for the super chat. That is the first super chat out of our goal of 5 super chats. We haven't had any super chats for a couple of days, and so yeah, it really gets me going. It makes my day to see you throw that super chat. Thank you very much. Why lab dumped? Well, we will take a look at it in just a minute. I'll remember that. Give me a second there. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for coming back. It was really awesome to meet you yesterday and have you in the stream, in the chat. So, Ondo up 11%, Zcash up 16%, Lighter up 20%, and I know that the Lifer was talking about how Lighter could potentially go up today. I needed that drink. All right, 20% to $1.60 for Lighter. I feel like Lighter's really been a struggle. I mean, it's up 72% over the entire month. Look at that big inverted head and shoulder though on the monthly. Whoa, watch out. That's a big inverted head and shoulder right there. And I mean, it did the thing. It looks like there's probably more on that measured move than it's even pumped so far. 100 to 200 here. Piverse. Piverse, I wish I could go dig up when we've gone over Piverse and gone to their website. They were like a timestamp thing, and they completely rather switched or added and became like AI. So very interesting, but Piverse is there. Then we have this Genius. It's up 20%. Melissa says, I have a bag of Lighter. I'm happy it went up. You know when you got in? What is your average buy on that? So you got UB down 32%, Sky AI down 23%, and Falcon Finance down 12.7%. Let's drop down, toggle 1 through 1,000, everything pretty red, and I mean decently red too, -4, -3. This is, you know, we look at this every single day, so hopefully it's not going to be like a slot. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. My children are being so loud, and it's always the same. It's like, where is my wife? I know she's standing right there. She can't tell them to be quiet. All right, guys. We do this every day. We toggle this 1 through 1,000. This is probably more red than I've seen it ever. I don't think I've ever seen it this red since I've been doing the show. Which is like the last 7 months, we haven't had such a red day. Says, okay, Melissa says, I think the 80-cent range. Well, nice. 80 to 90-cent range. Well, I'm glad to see it's up for you. That is nice. Hopefully it stays up with everything dumping. You know how that goes. Yep. And I won't forget about you. I know you're asking about Lab. We're going to get to that shortly. So, Useless up 17%. It's so funny because there's Useless and then there's another coin. It's Worthless. There's Useless and Worthless. And I really thought Worthless was going to do much better. And Useless is the only one I ever see. So that's how it goes sometimes. Here's GeoNet. I don't know a lot about this. It's up 11%. Anything that's up even a little bit in such a red day looks amazing, right? Bio's even up 6%. But we can't ignore this giant bubble here. Well, I guess it's not giant, but it's down 25%. This is Kintiq. I don't know how I'm supposed to say this. I mess that up every time. River's down 17%. Barachain is down 14%. Rave DAO is down 15%. So there you go. And what's the biggest category? The biggest loser of the day, I guess, is 800 to 900. Even though they're pretty even. It's pretty even down, all of them. Esports is down. Fight is down. Wow, Fight fell really far down. That's crazy. And I wonder where all of our people are at. I'm sure they'll come rolling in. Where is the Blues guy? Where is Camsta? Where is Cryptic Quentin? Where is 00 Zoe? And I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of names, but that's okay. Let's move on. I don't need to try to name everybody. So Bitcoin, 66,963. Call it 67 for all intent purposes. But that is a big fall. Now, here's the question that I'm thinking. Do we have a pretty sharp, pretty fast fall down to some lower prices and then a quick bounce and recovery? And then people will be talking about how it fell to 56,000 as the bottom. You know, a year from now, we'll be talking about that. But most people would not have got the opportunity to buy it. Go back and look at the 15,000 dollar Bitcoin of the last bear market, and I think you'll see that people didn't have a lot of time to buy a $15,000 Bitcoin or even a $16,000 Bitcoin, if you catch my point here. So probably touching grass or smoking it because of the market today. That's well said, Melissa. I guess I get to see who my hardcore undergrounders are today. Ethereum, $1,867, and we're not going to stop. I'm going to raise my crypto IQ today. I'm going to learn about Movement and Sui, because those are our topics of the day here. So BNB, $654. XRP, $1.22. Solana, $74.88. Hyperliquid, $70.15. Dogecoin falling back to more like 9 cents. Zcash, $631. We've got Cardano at 21 cents. XLM, 22.5 cents. Monero, $332. Everything very red. I'm not going to read all the 7-day reds here. Chainlink, $8.41. Canton Network, 15 cents. And then this is kind of where we start thinking about what projects do we want to load up on. We got Lab. Lab fell. Yeah, I mean, it had a retracement. Look how hard it's been pumping since. We'll take a second to talk about Lab real quick, because I know he wanted to know why Lab fell. First of all, Lab has been pumping like crazy, and it's all been kind of within the last 7 days, mostly. And so, never financial advice, but I would have expected some kind of pullback at some point. And remember, when things go up fast, they come down fast, right? That's generally how that works. Let's go to the 24-hour here. And I mean, it crashed down to $8, and it's already back up. It almost did 100% recovery there from $8 to like almost 16, or almost, yeah. I mean, all the way almost to 18. That would have been a beautiful buy. And it looks like it's flag, pump. It looks like it's going to keep pumping. It looks like it'll very quickly recover. Somebody with a lot of this probably was looking at like 27, 26 bucks, how much money they had made, and they just said, hey, I'm going to dump this. Like, I'm just going to sell it and take my money because I am way up on this, right? They decided they didn't want to lose. But anyways, it looks like it's recovering. Look, pump, flag, measured move, and on and so forth. 5.2 billion in market cap for Lab. pretty good for a Binance Smart Chain project, don't you think? Reliable J in the house at Surf Them Lab Waves. Yeah, Reliable J, did you buy in at that bottom there? Oh man, it went from like $8 all the way back up to 17 something, or $8 and 60 cents or something like that. But I mean, you could have doubled up again real fast right there. Memecore Memecore $3.36. $300 would be crazy. 14.7% there. HBAR is almost 9 cents. Avalanche $8.23. Sui, which we're going to be talking about today. Sui's on a little bit of a dump. I would love to buy some Sui. 81 cents. Down 20% basically today. Let's go look and see where that Flare coin is for the King of Flare, number 92 by market cap. All right, now let's go see what is trending. But before we do, let's introduce the topic of the day. So, the quote of the day first, before we get to the topic of the day. Yeah, got back in at 6. Got out at 23, sitting at 15. Okay, so you got back in at $6, got out at 23. Well done, he says. Lobster Banquet. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for posting those links, Melissa. So if you want something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And this should be incredibly obvious. Like, if you want the life you've never had, you got to do the things that you were never willing to do before, and now you are, and that's why you get what you never got before. What is it? The definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. That's was that Einstein who said that? Either way, it's kind of an inverse quote here, but they're both telling you the same thing. But how many people constantly complain that they are getting the same thing over and over, but they're not doing anything different? And I don't plan on moving away from being a crypto channel ever. But I do really love to talk about some personal development and, hopefully inspire some people to get up and just really do the hard things, right? We listen to Jim Rohn, we listen to this, that, and the other, and it really is some powerful stuff when you stop fighting it. Gonna get lab on car license plate. It's about to buy me. Oh yeah, it's about to buy you a car. Hey, good for you, Reliable J. I love to see you winning, brother. It looks good on you. All right, we may not know this, but Move was originally developed for Meta's Demi blockchain project before becoming the foundation for a newer ecosystem like Sui, Aptos, and Movement. So today, we're mostly focusing on Sui and Movement, kind of the way that we did Monad and Mega ETH. That's kind of the idea here. So if you didn't know, actually Move was developed for Meta's Demi blockchain project, but that didn't work out. I think that got shut down by like Congress or something like that. They were like, no, Facebook, you're not allowed to touch this. So the language was designed around safer handling of digital assets, transfers, access control. Sui's official Move page says Move was originally developed for Demi and was designed around smart contract needs, with first-class abstractions for asset transfers and access control. Ethereum's virtual machine became the became the default smart contract environment of crypto. Sorry, too many thoughts running at one time. So it gave us DeFi, NFTs, DAOs, and thousands of applications, but some newer chains are asking a dangerous question. What if the EVM is not the best model for everything crypto wants to be? Tonight we're looking into Movement and Sui, and why Move-based chains are trying to rethink how blockchain applications are built. When it comes to blockchain technology, I will really take as much innovation as we can get. As many different angles as people want to dedicate themselves to and try to build, I'm here for it. Let's see it. Let's see who the winner is, because I know the marketplace is going to produce who the winner is, right? Okay, So for years, the EVM has been one of the most important pieces of crypto infrastructure, the Ethereum virtual machine, right? It gave developers a shared environment to build, a common standard, and a place where smart contracts could be written, deployed, copied, upgraded, forked, and reused across ecosystems. That is why EVM became so powerful. Once a developer learned Solidity and EVM-based development, they could build across Ethereum and many Ethereum-compatible chains. That network effect is massive. Every dominant system eventually creates a question. Is this the best possible design, or is this simply the design that won first? That's where Move-based chains become interesting, right? Move does not try to just be another programming language. It starts from a different assumption. And crypto assets are not just numbers in a database. They are digital objects with ownership, transfer rules, permission, and security requirements. I love this topic tonight. It is really going to raise my crypto IQ, I know that. Move was designed with digital assets in mind from the beginning. That matters because smart contract mistakes can be extremely expensive, right? A bug in traditional software can cause an app crash. A bug in crypto can drain a treasury. Big difference. Stakes are higher out here in the blockchain technology. Or break a protocol, or permanently lose user funds. So the argument behind Move is simple. If blockchain apps are going to manage valuable digital assets, maybe the programming model should treat assets as first-class citizens. Sui takes that idea and builds an entire architecture around that object. So the question here is, how well do you understand Sui? How well do you understand how Sui works? What makes Sui different, as the topic is, from any Ethereum virtual machine based chain? This narrative, is this why maybe we don't see Sui included in a lot of the conversations a lot of the time? Because it is different. That is my question to you. Let's find out. So instead of thinking only in terms of account balances, contract storage, Sui emphasizes programmable objects that represent user-level assets. Sui documentation describes objects as a central concept, and Sui documents describe the network as using an asset-oriented programming model powered by Move. Now, this becomes important because although the market is not going to take the time, like your average person in crypto is not going to take the time to understand this stuff, if the tech is viably different and works, it can still win out and matter over time. Even if everybody doesn't immediately know this and doesn't immediately adopt and doesn't immediately think it's the best thing ever, if it works well, it can still win out long term. Movement is trying to bring MoveVM, which is just their virtual machine-based infrastructure, into a broader ecosystem where developers can build scalable and secure applications. Its official site describes Movement as a layer 1 blockchain built using the MoveVM, while Binance Research has described Movement as a Move EVM layer 2 for Ethereum. That difference in framing is worth paying attention to because Movement's broader pitch has centered around combining Move-based benefits with access to Ethereum-style liquidity and users, right? So we're still talking interoperability, right? They still have the ability to work with EVM-style projects. And that brings us to the deeper question. Is the future of crypto mostly EVM compatible? In the short term, I would say so. Or do new types of apps require new types of architecture? I could see a lot of benefits to maybe going hard on doing it a different way, because who knows what that might unlock for the industry. That is what today's stream is really about. Not just movement, not just Sui, but whether the next generation of blockchain applications needs something fundamentally different under the hood. And where are we at? All right, we are caught up. Thanks for showing off those custom emojis. If you would like some custom emojis, they are $2.99 a month, and you get the membership stream and all kinds of other added benefits there. Let's go take a look at what is trending. And look at that, Lab is trending today. Bonk. It's being bonked down to lower levels, but it's trending. Lab, Lighter, Ondo, Hyperliquid, Pudgy Penguins, Bitcoin, Zcash, Near Protocol, Solana, BitTensor, Toncoin, Rave DAO, Octra, which we've gone over a few times here, and Super Fortune, which we've gone over and is kind of newer on the scene than, say, Octra is. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin. Let me move you guys over to Trading View here. And let me not forget to move you back when it comes time. And here we are. Let's go to like the hour. Some pretty ugly price action. And what does it make you think about? Well, it makes you think about this double bottom here, right? This is on the 1 hour. Actually, let's go to the 4 hour. Make a lot more sense, right? Instead of talking about that double bottom, we can talk about this double bottom right here, because it's essentially where you're back to. I mean, we had our lowest levels, which were, let's get rid of that giant circle. We don't need that. Which were 59,861. So we went just a touch under 60,000, right? Now, is this whole thing like a cup and handle? It's worth a thought. It's definitely worth a thought here. But you're really giving back all the gains, like all the pump here. We've given all of that back. So, I mean, it's a little sad. It's a little sad. Camston in the house. Welcome in, welcome in. Does anyone know what is the next gem coin to fly, like Lab or Hype? Yeah, anybody got any opinions on that? It's definitely... Well, here's the question that I want to talk about, right? Because Lab is doing really well. There's a few projects that are doing really well, like Hype. But if Bitcoin loses these levels, are we expecting to see something? And this is what happens, all right, guys? People start expecting to see something that we've never seen happen before. And although I'll be the first one to say it totally could happen, the decoupling of DeFi and DeFi running on its own, that could happen, okay? But it's very unlikely to happen. Can we agree on that? Can we agree that that's kind of unlikely to happen? It's more unlikely for the thing that never happened before to happen than it is likely for the thing that always happened to happen. That's the more likely thing. Everybody following me here? Because if you start losing these levels down here, like 62,758, I mean, just call it 62,000 in general. Like, you lose this level here at 64,000. How long do you think Lab and Hype are gonna pump if we continue to fall straight down past 60,000? Like, I find it very hard to believe. Now, I would personally love to see the decoupling, right, of DeFi, and DeFi to just run and do its own thing and it not matter anymore about Bitcoin. But I just don't see it. Kind of a complex shoulder, head, shoulder. It's almost like a head and shoulder, the head with a head and shoulder as the shoulders. Kind of interesting. But it dumped hard. So are we done dumping? That's the question. 4 hours, pretty oversold. But what happens is people probably start deciding that they're going to long this thing, and it just drags us down deeper. It's what happens a lot of the time. Welcome in. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you would. And know that we have a free Discord for you guys that I will link right this second. Pin message. All right, there we go. So our free Discord is linked in the chat. Come on over and hang out with us. Hey, Blues Guy, welcome in, welcome in. Liz, check out Humanity. Yeah, Humanity's one. Says I have a small bag. There you go. And so basically when it comes to BTC, what exactly are we hoping altcoins are going to do if Bitcoin decides, hey, we're going to go continue this bear market? If we're going to continue a bear market down to, say, 55,000, 50,000, people have talked about 45,000. Why would we expect altcoins to just continue to rip and run? Unless they decouple, right? Take a quick look at Lab. Look at these wicks. They look better on the 1 hour. You had this crazy wick down to $6.31. Is that where you got back in, Reliable J? If so, then well done. Mega ETH did continue to dump, which, not surprised. This is why I haven't got into this project yet. The lower it gets, though, the more I might want to just take a little nibble, for sure. Let's look at Humanity. As Humanity is pretty hot. And of course, Sui we'll be talking about tonight, right? Sui doing whatever Bitcoin's doing, right? And ticker H is Humanity. Yeah, we'll go with it on Next C, why not? Interesting, where did it go? Must have already had it. So here we go, here's Humanity. I mean, Humanity's been pumping. Definitely got some action going here. Definitely see that shoulder, head, and shoulder in there. For sure. But if you do hold, maybe you're going to flag out and take this measured move. Again, it doesn't make a lot of sense if Bitcoin's going to keep dumping for several days that this is going to play out. But Humanity could go to $1, call it $1.18 for sure, about $1.18. But, of course, it does look like it is setting up this shoulder, head, shoulder. That would give you a measured move here. So I would be wary of that measured move. And if you pulled a fib, that measured move would say right to the 786. You'd have support at the 200-day moving average, basically. They converge. You have a converging of the 786 and the 200-day moving average if the shoulder, head, and shoulder falls out. And if it does, it's probably going to do it, from about here down. So that's just some of my insight there. What else did we want to talk about? The lab wave rider. Well done, Reliable J. Well done. And Blues Guy says CLO or Clovis, Ye Finance. What is CLO? Yeah, okay, Ye Finance. That is the ticker. I thought it was YEI. I thought was the ticker. Not a project I look at often, but I certainly know what it is, right? With the prices, it's hard not to know what this thing is, right? Is this the right? Yeah, Ye Finance. Here we are. So let's go look at the 4 hour. It is pumping, and I mean you can see a ton of previous price action at this level here. So that's certainly good. You're far away from the 4 hour though. It probably looks worse on the daily. Oh, look at that gap. Look at that gap. So, I mean, here you got far away. Look, right here, you got real far away from the 4 hour, 21, and it just kind of came down and went sideways until it met it. And then it dumped, right? Don't forget that part. But either way, it looks like it's running for its 1 day 200 moving average, which it barely even has a 1 day 200 moving average. That 1 hour right in that 21. Your moving average is starting to get pretty far apart for Clove. Finance, right? I don't know. I feel like I would let this one give me some pullback first before I bothered with it too much. Then we got Sky AI, which I know just continued to dump. We have been looking at it, the full range here. If you pull away from that high wick and just go more with candle bodies, you're closer to a 786. And this is kind of what we were just talking about. 786 lining up with the 200-day moving average could be a good place to buy. Now, I don't really consider myself well-versed in Sky AI as a project. I have no idea if it really has a whole lot to offer, or if it mostly just is riding some kind of hype wave, marketing campaign, a pump and dump group maybe that got a hold of it. Somebody had suggested on the Lifer stream today, somebody was talking about that. So that doesn't mean you can't make money with it. It's just kind of a question of how far do we trust this thing if you're going to put some serious money in it. And then again, I can't say this enough, if you're going to keep dumping to like 60,000 for BTC or lower, I don't know if it's a real good idea to be trying to catch altcoin pumps. But you do what you want to do. Never financial advice here. So the Fear and Greed Index is at 11. Now, the last time we were at 8 and 5 for the Fear and Greed Index, we were at about the same levels, right? For BTC, we were at where we kind of double bottomed, right? So, are we gonna make like a triple bottom here? Some kind of really cup and handle with a really nasty cup that went down a lot, and then we pump up? Because usually when the Fear and Greed Index goes to like 5 and 8, that's usually a bottom. So it's hard for me to believe. And now this thing dropped a lot. It was 23 yesterday. I do remember that. Yeah, that clove on the weekly looks good. Yeah, I just want to see clove pull back a tiny bit and come to like the 4 hour 21, and then it could really go for some massive pump. Or, of course, stay where it is and the 21 comes up to it. Of course. So anyways, like I said, Fear and Greed Index getting awfully low. Are we going to have some time at super low fear? And when has that not been a bottom indication? And if it's at 11 now and we go to 55,000, like, what are we going to go to 1 on the fear? Are we going to go to 1 on the Fear and Greed Index? It's kind of crazy. Is the Fear and Greed Index broken? I doubt it. So we have the Atla network. Singularly. I feel like that's not spelled normal. All right. Signal Plus, WonderFi, Ardor, Irene, SpeedLab, EdgeX, BlockFills, Piverse, which has completely changed their narrative, Lab, of course, AIVIVE, what is that, AIVIVE, Marvel Technology tokenized stock. So here's some more Ondo tokenized stock. Kjin, which we've talked about Kjin many times. Phi Chain, Ripple USD or RLUSD, Jito Labs, Bitcoin, Monad, yesterday's whole stream, right? Talked a lot about Monad, and Memecore, which Memecore is back up over $3 for anybody who's not paying attention at home. We could see a 1 on the Fear and Greed Index. If it does, I'm going to buy some spot. Hey, you keep that energy. Keep that energy. Because everybody always says that they're going to buy when that thing goes low. And I remember when we were at 5, and I did not get the vibe from people that they were going to buy anything, okay? So we'll see. We'll see. But I hope you do. Because if you go to 1, I mean, you literally, I don't know, if it just keeps dumping, you're just going to stay at 1, and it just gets like stuck there, gets pinned at 1. It could. Definitely could. So let's talk about what's new on the radar here, because even though Bitcoin is dumping and we could go to say 50,000, 55,000, 60,000 in the near future, does that mean we should stop raising our crypto IQ? Does that mean that we should stop learning about new projects coming out? I don't think so. Athleta Network has been on the radar a lot recently. I remember when this coin came out, for sure. Athleta Network is a modular, multi-layer blockchain network modernizing the sport industry. What do I want to say here? There's been a lot of projects to come out and talk about sports. Chili's is one of them, right? And I've never seen any of them really do anything all that revolutionary. They're like, we'll do predictions on sports. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but it's not really revolutionary. A lot of other people decided to do that as well. So when they say they're modernizing, what exactly does that mean? Are we looking at something like this? And again, a lot of altcoins and cup and handles and stuff on higher time frames, like they're going to do something. Like Bitcoin's not going to go to 55,000, right? Now, I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying it's weird to have a lot of altcoins in large time frame bullish patterns. That's not usually how that works. But nothing is impossible. Those patterns could just fail. And who knows? Black Swan event, right? What? That would be legendary. Yeah, it absolutely would be. I bought a few things today, said Melissa. Don't worry about the coins that pump. Remember, you got quality coins and they have their time. Don't chase, wait, accumulate smart money. There you go. And yeah, this is I mean a falling wedge for Athleta Network. How far it's going to fall and retrace, I don't know. But it looks pretty good. How long has it actually been around, I think is the next question I want to know here. Let's go to the weekly. And look at that. Great price action since it came out. The 11th of August 2025. Big pump here. It literally went from $25 to $287. Like, this is a weekly, so 1, 2, 3 weeks, and then it held there for a while, and now it's $193. Interesting. Let's grab that Fibonacci, and you've already had a 0.5 bounce. I would not doubt if maybe you get a wick down into the golden pocket before it rips. Pretty typical price action stuff. Anyways, if you're not familiar with Athleta Network, alright, they're saying that their website could be problematic. I doubt it. It's probably fine. It probably just doesn't trust it because it's such a new website, new project. And also probably has a lot of maybe AI in it and stuff that makes it kind of questionable, right? All of these, not spam blockers, but, antiviruses and stuff, trying to keep up with the environment that we're in is probably pretty hard. So Singularity Singularity is a non-custodial DeFi or DeFi AI platform on BNB chain, offering AI automated yield strategies with no-code token launches with instant liquidity. Very interesting here. 35.1 million in market cap. All-time high market cap, 48 million. So not very far away. The chart, I hate when they have these ugly charts and not a trading view chart. Look at this low. Here, I just want that low. It's not going to let me have it. That's kind of really annoying, but okay. Moving on. Let's go to their website. Autonomous DeFi starts here. So use AI-powered strategies to optimize yields or deploy fair launch tokens with instant on-chain liquidity. Launchpad, right? Launch an app, deploy Launchpad. Either way, start earning, launch a token. So the earning or the launch app, Yield Farmer, you can go there and it uses AI, I guess, to manage these yields with USDT or USD1, and then it's just a straight up launch pad as well. Now you've raised that crypto IQ once again. So we got Signal Plus. One day I'm gonna learn how to read. Signal Plus is a crypto options trading platform. Raised 101 million. Hashkey Capital. And that's not really something I want to dig into right there. Let's talk about WonderFi. WonderFi is a Canadian regulated crypto platform operated by BitBuy and CoinSquare. We're going to move through these a little quickly because we've been over a bunch of these yesterday, and two, we have a lot of information that I really want to get to. A scalable, secure, and proven blockchain platform, and a cryptocurrency project offering unique out-of-the-box features and child chains? Okay, who came up with that? That's terrible. I don't like child chains. That sounds terrible. How about like parallel chains? How about parachains? How about just anything except for child chains? I think that sounds terrible. All right, moving on. 37.4 million in market cap. Been as high as 2.5 billion. Oof. This thing must have been out for a while. Because man, has it fallen massively. Yeah. Since the 1st of May 2020. Good on that. I'll just straight up pass on that one. Irene owns and operates next generation data centers. So this is straight up data centers. They've raised $5.1 billion, right? They're not even out yet. NY Dig, funder and backer, pretty much exclusively. Owns and operates next-generated data centers that are 100% powered by renewable energy, optimized for Bitcoin mining, AI, cloud services, and other high-density computing needs, right? Seems like a winner to me. Irene, probably one that'll do really well. Be really interested to see what it does when that token launches. It says CLO, not Clog. Genius, not Enius. Oh, okay, he's fixing his own typos. Yeah, I already have Serve. I like that coin. Yeah, definitely. Although Serve pumped a bit already. Yes, it did. Still looking for a good entry on that. Speed Labs, 6.5 million. Speed Labs is a real-time sports prediction market infrastructure API powering sports books and crypto betting. I mean, some people are really into this. I say very lame. I don't really care much about it, but that's my own personal, I'm not a big sports bettor. What can I say? I know some people who are. Block Fills. We'll skip EdgeX. Been over that a million times. Block Fills is a firm delivering bespoke end-to-end liquidity and software solutions for institutions. So more projects orientated towards institutional services. Piverse, again, they kind of flipped the script on us. They were timestamps and TimeFi, and now they're touting themselves as a X402 platform powering agent-to-agent transaction via Universal Commerce Protocol. Sounds pretty cool. I don't know what happened to what they originally were doing, if they're still doing that and they just upgraded, or if they completely scrapped that all together and just basically kept the name. I don't know. 274 million market cap and as high as 381 million. I feel like a lot of people have their eye on Piverse. I just want to say that. Like, I feel like Piverse, for whatever reason, a lot of people have their eye on it. It's only $1 right now. All-time high is like $1.76. 274 million is nothing. I think Piverse, for whatever reason, fits the narrative and things to be one that just rips. If Bitcoin doesn't go to 55,000 soon. AI Vive, or DeFi just decouples. Blues Guy says, UG. Yeah, I was in that pump when that happened. These pops gonna kill you, bro. Carbonated water, so not good for your stomach and gut. I know you didn't ask for my opinion. Yeah, that's okay though. I don't mind your opinion, man. I like one every once in a while. At least there's zero sugar and stuff, but definitely are carbonated water. But honestly, I've been eating like nothing but watermelon after watermelon after watermelon. So much watermelon. Loving it. That usually, the only time I actually have a soda is on the stream usually, because I usually crash. I know nobody asked, but I usually crash about 2-3 hours before the stream because I've been up since like 7 a.m. I put hurricane shutters up for a customer. I start my day usually by walking 2.5-3 hours, then hitting the gym, then usually doing some kind of job, running errands, doing what I need to do, and set up the stream, 2 reels a day across multiple platforms, post on multiple platforms. It's a lot. And then by the time it hits about, for me, 8:30 p.m. is when we go live here. When it hits about 5:30, I'm like, yo, I need to lay down. Cryptic Quentin, what is up? I love to see that name come through the chat. Welcome in, my fellow undergrounder. We are about to get into some sauce here, so welcome in, welcome in. He says, bro, come on. I wake up at 4 a.m. all day, non-stop, no sleep, full energy. I don't know what you're getting at here, but, well, I didn't say, Blues Guy, I didn't say anything about drinking carbonated sodas having anything to do with energy or I didn't say any of that, bro. I just said that the only time I have one is usually like when I hit the stream, and they're all sugar-free and stuff. Carbonated water is about the only thing in it, actually. Anyways, AI Vive is raised 8 million. He says no plastics either, bro. Now I'm pissed. Hey, buy me some copper stuff, and I'll drink out of copper. We'll pour the copper. We'll pour the plastic jug water into a copper jug and then hope that all the microplastics disappear. How are we doing tonight? We're doing great, Cryptic Man. We are doing great. You guys long on Clo? No, we were checking it out though. We are definitely checking it out. He says, UG, I'm worried, man. I've been telling you for months. Don't worry. I'll get right. I'll get right eventually. I always do. I don't think I'm going to drop dead from carbonated water and microplastics. Not saying that I think it's good for me, but I certainly don't think that that's going to be the end of me. AI Vive. Let's touch on this project real quick. It has a social tag. AI Vive builds an AI-powered Web3 image feed with on-chain revenue sharing and deflationary tokenomics. I love the deflationary tokenomics that they put that in the description. I like that. Looks like we're about to get techie. A Web3 native AI project building what it calls the first recursive AI protocol, centered on an AI-generated image feed where users taste. They lost me there. Taste and creator activity are directly tied to on-chain token economics and programmable scarcity. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. How do you, the feeds where users taste? That just must be a term that they're using, like an acronym maybe. The platform connects AI image creation with revenue model in which a programmable share of platform income is used to automatically deflate the network's native asset through a reoccurring on-chain burn mechanism, turning ongoing product usage and engagement into driving a large... Yo, this is interesting. So this AI Vive is basically saying that they have an AI image generator, right? I don't know what the whole taste thing is about, but it's an AI image generator, and the more that people use it, the more it burns the native coin, AVV. That's a pretty cool idea. Now, what the burn rate is and how many people are actually going to use it, I have no idea. But I do like that this project is heavily focused on burning the coin. Like, that sends a good vibe to me. I think I need to know a little more about tokenomics, which there's no token generation event yet, so you're not going to have any tokenomics. They've raised $8 million, which is enough money to really, get something going here. I'll be watching this one. I don't know why it would be considered social media. To me, they just are an AI-generated image feed. Oh, because the feed. This is interesting. I'll be keeping an eye on this one, this AI Vive. Certainly keeping an eye on that one. Says AI Vive is in the OKX universe. Yeah, okay. That's good to know, for sure. Cryptic Quentin said, for real? For real? Yeah. I mean, carbonated water is certainly not the best. All right, we got a tokenized stock, Marvel Technology. Kgen. I haven't talked about Kgen in a long time. Kgen is a platform that functions both as a gaming engagement platform and an e-commerce marketplace designed to build gaming communities. I would also say very heavily Korean market. Wow, this thing went all the way to $2 when it first came out, or it started at $2 and fell out and never did anything else. One or the other. Not sure which one it was. Very interesting. It's like a support at 8.128 support here. All right, that's Kgen. We got Phi Chain is newer on the radar here. At least I think it is. Actually, I think Phi Chain is much older than I originally realized when we first went over it. I realized that now. The 7th of April, 2025. It says the all-time market cap for Phi Chain is 21 billion. That doesn't make any sense unless it was here when it went to $110 this week. Whoa. Is that like a large bearish hammer? Is that what that is? This thing really went to like $111 like this week. I don't remember that happening. Jito Labs, Camsta's favorite project. Camsta says, I love my Diet Pepsi. It is my favorite. Ooh, aspartame diet. Aspartame. Everybody's got something to say. We'll make it so you can't drink anything but pond water. Jito is the liquid staking service for Solana that distributes maximal extractable value rewards to its holders, making those MEV attacks work for you. 56 cents here. Market cap 272 million, been as high as 1.1 billion. Wow. Yeah, and I remember when Jito was kind of the talk of the town. It went to like $5.32. It's at 56 cents right now. Solana not looking so great right now, though. Can we all agree with that? That Solana was all about them meme coins, and when the meme coins slowed down, Solana has slowed down a lot. Does that mean that Solana's done? No, not at all. I don't think Solana's done at all. It's still a good chain. Just its use case was very concentrated memes, right? Monad. We don't need to go over that. Meme core. All right, so we did our due diligence. We went over what is trending. Let's look at our top gainers, top losers real fast here. Let's refresh it. Said I sold all my Jito a long ago. LOL. Rand said to only hold large caps after the first dump to 65. All right. Well, you do what you want to do. I certainly don't listen to Rand on anything. Let's see. Dexy, 30% gainer of the day. Lighter coming in second, 17%. Useless coin up 17%. Zcash, Ondo, Origin Trail, right, or Track, and this Rootstock infrastructure framework. See what the top loser is. Sky AI, Walrus, which is pretty much the top project in the Sui ecosystem. So why is that getting dumped is a good question. Say, ETH.fi, Aptos, Artificial Intelligence, FET, which had like a weird pump recently. So I guess it's giving it all back. And Aether. I don't know why we're on Twitter. All right, let's get into some of the sauce here for the day. So the EVM won because of network effect, right? So Ethereum Virtual Machine won because of its network effects. The EVM became dominant because it had the strongest developer mindshare, and that matters. In crypto, developers do not want to rebuild everything from scratch every time they move into a new ecosystem. I really feel like this can't really be overstated. Having this consistent across the board EVM compatibility is really important for developers. They want familiar tooling, wallet support, smart contract standards, existing libraries, infrastructure providers, and liquidity. The EVM created a kind of shared language across crypto, except for Cardano, right? That is why many chains choose to become EVM compatible. And I'm just messing around. I'm pretty sure that Cardano has an EVM compatible, what would you call that? Where it transfers, right? Where you can just easily, quickly transfer the code from Cardano's programming language to EVM compatible, right? To Solidity. But dominance creates inertia. Once a system becomes standard, people keep building on it because everyone else is already there. It's very important. What's the point of developing stuff if people are not there? That does not always mean it is the best possible design. It means it has the strongest ecosystem gravity, which is a cool way of saying that. It's a nice, I like that. Has the strongest ecosystem gravity. Why some chains want to move beyond the Ethereum virtual machine. So the Ethereum virtual machine was not originally designed for every possible future crypto use case. It became the default because it worked, not because it solved everything perfectly. Newer chains are asking whether crypto needs a different foundation for asset safety, parallel execution, gaming, consumer apps, higher throughput applications, and more complex ownership models. This is why Move matters. So basically, although Ethereum virtual machine works well, Solidity works well, the things that we're having trouble building in crypto right now, those things might require us to have a different option when it comes to developing. Move-based ecosystems are not just trying to copy Ethereum, they are asking whether digital assets should be represented and handled differently at the programming level. That is much deeper design question than a simple which chain is faster, right? People oversimplify when it comes to who's faster. It just becomes a mute conversation or a mute argument. All right, we're caught up on the chat. So what makes Move different? And again, Move is a programming language and Movement is a project, right? Move was designed specifically with digital asset in mind. That means assets can be treated more like resources with strict rules around ownership, movement, and access. This is important because in crypto, assets are the product. Tokens, NFTs, game items, stablecoins, lending positions, government rights or governance rights, these are all forms of digital assets. Move tries to make it harder for developers to accidentally duplicate, lose, or mishandle those assets. This does not mean Move eliminates all risk, okay? Smart contracts can still have bugs. It does not mean the language was designed around the reality that blockchain programs control valuable assets. That is the central difference. Now I guess we're going to get into Sui. So Sui's object-based model changes the mental model. So how many people even know that Sui is an object-based model? So Sui is one of the clearest examples of a Move-based blockchain design. How many people really knew that Sui itself was so different in its design from all the other chains? I don't know. I would say most people probably don't know that. Sui does not just use Move as a language. It builds around the idea of objects. And my takeaway here is that objects have a lot to do with Move and Move as a language. On Sui, objects are the basic unit of data storage. They can represent user-level assets with ownership and programmability attributes. This matters because it changes how developers think. Instead of only asking, what is the balance of this account? Developers can think in terms of what object does this user own? What are the rules attached to it? How can it be transferred, modified, used, combined, or upgraded? This can be very useful for things like gaming assets, NFT, digital identity, ownership-based apps, and consumer crypto experiences. That is why Sui is often discussed in relation to high-throughput apps and asset-heavy experiences. I don't know about you guys, but I am loving this topics that we've been over. Yesterday was an amazing stream. I'm going to take a minute just to give everybody a breath of fresh air here. Yesterday's stream I thought was amazing for all that we got into, and this is really just a great follow-up to it. I knew it would be, and I am just kind of reaffirming a lot of stuff I've gotten into before when it comes to movement, right? He says, sup, S-Down gang? What is S down? Is that some kind of inside joke you got going on? Okay, Movement's bet, right? Bring Move virtual machine into a wider crypto environment. Movement is interesting because it is trying to make move-based execution more accessible in a broader ecosystem. Its official documentation frames Movement as an ecosystem for interacting. Why? I thought it says interracing. I was like, where are we at here? Okay, so Movement for ecosystems for interacting with Move-based architecture. And its official site describes it as a layer 1 blockchain built using Move virtual machine for scalability and secure applications. All right. It's official. Yeah, we just read that part. Okay, so the bigger idea is that developers may want Move safety and performance benefits without completely abandoning crypto's existing users and liquidity. So basically, are we going to get some kind of hybrid? I mean, if you look at blockchain evolution, I would expect us to keep the best stuff, get rid of the stuff we don't like, or intermix it where it makes sense, and then take it away where it doesn't make sense. That's how we're going to get the best products. That is why Movement often gets discussed around the idea of bridging Move in Ethereum virtual machine worlds. The pitch is basically, can we get the asset safety and performance benefits of Move while still connecting to the broader Ethereum style crypto economy? That is a very interesting bet because if successful, it could reduce the trade-offs between new architecture and existing ecosystem access. Double Ozo in the house, what is up? He said, yo, Zcash made me happy today. Very glad to hear that. Was Zek Pampin is what everybody wants to know. And we are getting deep in the sauce. I don't know how much you guys value this type of information. I know I certainly do. So I'm going to keep going. This is really a battle between compatibility and reinvention. The Ethereum virtual machine has all the compatibility, right? Move has the reinvention energy. That creates real tension. EVM chains benefit from existing developers, tooling, liquidity, and user familiarity. Move chains benefit from asset-oriented design, potential safety advantages, different execution models, fresh architecture. The question is not simply which one is better. The better question is when is compatibility more important, and when is reinvention worth it? Again, taking the best of stuff from both sides. That is the trade-off these newer chains are testing, and I want to see new projects with new ideas and new angles, new evolution and new takes on how to use the blockchain technology, shoot their shot and try to do something different, and we'll just take the best stuff from it and make more new chains until we get a version of blockchain technology where we know what to use for what applications, depending on if you're trying to make a privacy coin or if you're trying to make a Web3 app that can scale that half of the world could use or more. Those are totally different use cases that require totally different dynamics when it comes to the actual blockchain that runs it, right? So number 7, the risk. Better architecture does not automatically win. And this is important, right? Tech doesn't move price, right? Crypto history shows that better technology does not always win. Ecosystems win when they attract the developers and the users, the liquidity, applications, culture, and most importantly, trust. A technically impressive chain can still fail if nobody builds meaningful apps on it. So for Movement and Sui, the question is not only is Movement interesting, the question is, can Move-based ecosystems create applications that users actually care about. Because architecture matters most when it produces a better experience. What is going on in this chat? Yep, Zcats. It seems like whenever BTC dumps, the privacy coins get to pumping. Guys, don't forget to slap and kick that like button for crypto knowledge. Appreciate that. And shout out to Melissa for the super chat of the night. We do have a goal of 5 super chats here per night. And Melissa's kicked it off with the first one. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about Ethereum virtual machine. But what is Ethereum virtual machine? It's the coding language of Solidity. It's what most things run on. There's more than one type of coding language in crypto, but Solidity has, for all intent purposes, really captured most of the developers, right? Move was originally designed for Facebook's theme, right? And therefore, when that didn't really work out, the stablecoin Facebook wanted to do all of that stuff. They kind of shut it down. I think Congress did it. They kind of moved the Move language, programming language, to different projects. And Sui apparently is a huge part of that ecosystem. And I don't think a lot of people realize how different Sui is from a lot of other blockchains. By the way, it's on sale right now. It's like 81 cents. The bigger question, what apps actually need Move? This is the deepest part of the stream, really, and what we're going over. Move-based architecture becomes more compelling if it unlocks apps that are hard to build elsewhere, right? And this is kind of what I was saying. In order for this Move programming language to be valuable, and a blockchain that's really built around a Move-based language, in order for that to kick off and actually matter, it's got to do something that we can't already do. If it doesn't unlock a new capability, like scaling or something like that, more complex, if it doesn't unlock more capability, then it's not really more useful, and why would developers spend the time to ever bother with it? That is really the big takeaway here. So potential examples of what Move may be better at is on-chain gaming, which we know is lackluster, complex NFTs, programmable assets, identity objects, consumer apps with many owned items in it, real-world asset systems could be really good. That makes a lot of sense because of the whole object idea. High-frequency asset interaction. If Move simply becomes another place to trade tokens, the thesis is weaker. If Move-based chains create better asset-heavy applications, then the thesis becomes much stronger. And this might sound like a lot of words, and it might not really get you all that excited, but we're literally just laying out right here. If this happens, this whole Sui ecosystem and Move-based virtual machine, not going to be a big deal. If this happens, it will be a really big deal. Hopefully you're getting that takeaway, because that's what I'm getting from it. So the real question is, what applications become meaningful or meaningfully better because they're built with Move versus Ethereum virtual machine or Solidity? That is what we should watch. And let's see what it says, a core insight here. EVM has ecosystem gravity. Move has architectural ambition. The question is whether ambition can attract enough real users and development to matter. So, again, if Move as a language and Sui as an ecosystem that implements this object-based Move language, right? If it starts building things that can't be built anywhere else, it's going to coexist, and probably be a huge winner. If it fails to produce anything that matters, it's probably going to fade off into irrelevance. And I have some Sui. So to me, it's rather important. I hope you raise your crypto IQ here on a Wednesday night, Tuesday night. Oh, it's only Tuesday. Fun. On a Tuesday night. Chris Goss in the house says 333. Welcome in. Yeah, Zcash does its own thing. It does certainly feel like Zcash does its own thing. All right, let's move along. Where do you guys want to go from here? Let's play a game of Panzer Dogs, because I feel like that was a little heavy for you guys. Did this change? Did they change some stuff on here? Are we getting some actual development? I mean, it's UX, it's usability. Yeah, they did. They cleaned this up a little bit. I don't know who decided to do that, but it's an easy thing to do, I'll tell you that. Locomotive skin. Anyways, let's hit a round of this real quick, just to break up the heaviness of that. And I know when a topic is complex and heavy for everybody, because you don't see any chatter in the chat about it, right? That was a lot to take in. I'm going to have to rewatch. Yeah. And some weeks here are going to be heavy, because we talk about raising that crypto IQ, but I don't want that to just be a slogan and then nobody ever actually learns anything, right? Like, what's the point of that? Sometimes we're going to have to probably deal with topics multiple times. And don't worry, we'll take a topic like move and stuff, and we'll approach it from different angles multiple times over, months. And by the end of all that, you should probably have a good understanding of what it is. I mean, I can simplify a good bit if necessary. Like, you have programming languages, right? I mean, think of like an old programming language like Python, which is still used, but most people, anybody who has anything to do with development, when other people talk to them, if they know anything about developing, it's something like Python. But there's a bunch of them here in the land of crypto. I mean, you have Rust, you have Solidity, you have Move, you have, I don't really know how much Python is actually used. I'm not a developer, so I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form in any of those things. Although I find it very interesting, I just don't know how to do any of it. Let's see. It says, I agree. If you're not willing to risk the usual, you have to settle for ordinary. I'm like reading the chat while I'm trying to play this. Wow. I like how he just interdimensionally dodging all my shots. Thanks for the lag. I need to understand this stuff. And you will, Mosa. You absolutely will. The beauty of it is it's just, it's not that complex. Think about a building. Like, you're building a building, right? One building might be built out of bricks. That building you could consider solidity, right? Bricks, solidity. And another building might be built out of steel, right? Metal framing. And maybe we call that move. The whole point is, think of the building languages as maybe a different material in a physical way, right? Because we're taking what's digital, trying to relate it to something that'll make sense. And so when you go to build a house, you think about what that house is going to do, where it's going to be, how you want it to be built, the weight load, how heavy the roof is going to be, and you decide what material is going to be the best material for that build, right? And so basically that's like a programming language. That's basically what you're saying is, if Move can work better for things like RWAs, which seemed to be a use case that they were kind of touting, then at that point, maybe RWA companies, projects are going to build using Move language. If something is better for Ethereum virtual machine, then people are going to use that. So application becomes highly important. And then the main takeaway from all we were really talking about is that simply, if the Move language doesn't do anything much better, then it's just going to fade out of relevance and nobody's going to care about it. And that's going to be that. It won't be the end of the world, but it will be the end of that experiment, if you will. And that's kind of what we need in the evolution of blockchain technology as we try to figure out things. Because understanding the pain points of any business or understanding the pain points of any technology really gives you an advantage that I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, if we know that scalability is a problem, and then something comes out and solves that problem, the rest of the world might not understand how big of a deal that is, but you might. And that might make you understand that whatever the solution was is what you want to invest in, while other people don't know. This is the power of raising your crypto IQ. Other people don't know to invest in that because they don't really understand how big of a deal it is until it's too late. And it's already moved, it's already pumped, and then they want to get in and be a part of it. That is the type of thing that we're hoping for by raising our crypto IQs pretty much daily. Let's go back to our crypto bubbles real quick. Take a look at Zcash, because Double O Zo is here and he's talking about it. It's up 16.7% today. Let's go look at it over here on CoinGecko. We'll bring up the 24-hour chart. And hear what I'm saying now. Unreal Scallywag says CAS is another good tech project, but the adoption thesis has a lot to prove. CAS, Sui, Kita in a similar basket. Tons of potential if they can execute. See, that sounds like Kita. 11 million throughput per second. Or millisecond. No, 11 million throughput per second for Kita. Yep, CAS due for a pump. Appreciate you saying that, Unreal Scallywag. I never know who's hanging out here and who has a high crypto IQ. We have a whole series going on this week where we're kind of exploring a lot of these. Yesterday we compared Mega ETH versus Monad, right? That's next layer or next generation blockchains, whether it's a layer 2 or a layer 1, right? But they're both trying to solve the same thing. Today we dug into Sui, but not just Sui. We dug into Ethereum virtual machine moving away from EVM to other types of virtual machines. And we hyper-focused here on movement because that's what Sui is built around. And so if you like that kind of information, I highly recommend you keep coming back to the stream where we will be doing this series all week, and we always have some kind of series going, whether it's an ecosystem or we're focused on zero knowledge. You're going to raise your crypto IQ if you come to the stream. That much I can promise you. So Zcash has $10.4 billion in it. Max supply, 21 million, just like Bitcoin. Total supply, circulating supply, 16.6 million in circulating supply. Says that the treasury holds about 300,000 Zcash, which is pretty small if you ask me, compared to all these numbers we're talking about here. That's pretty small. And it looks like it is in the near protocol ecosystem. You can always learn something, even if you're just learning something that you forgot. I don't remember Zcash. You know what? I take that back. I do remember learning that Zcash was in the Near protocol ecosystem, but it wasn't always in the Near protocol system, right? Because Zcash, I believe, came out before Near came out. Let's do a quick little configuration here. Let's go to the max chart. It says 2016 Zcash came out. Let's go look at Near. When did Near come out? Max chart. Survey says 2020. So how does a project that came out in 2016 live on the ecosystem of a project that came out in 2020? It tells me that Zcash did not always live on Near protocol. Make sense? Now, how would that information help you? I don't know. Near protocol is heavily switched to AI. And if Zcash wants to stay very relevant and wants to, push the envelope and advance as a relevant privacy coin, well then, that integration with Near could bring a lot of things in the capabilities for it that would have not have been a capability for it if it was not inside the Near protocol ecosystem. I don't want to get too far out on you, but this thing was in 2024 and 2025 about $50 or lower, and then it just shot up to like 600 and something bucks. What is the all-time high for Zcash, you might ask? $3,191. But here's where this becomes interesting. If you go to market cap and we look at, oh, they're not going to, okay, all right. So we got to make sure we get the same time frame, right? So if you come here and we look at market cap when this thing, October 28th, 2016, right? The market cap of this coin, assuming that all the APIs and the data that we're being fed here is relevant, it says 4.6 million. It's hard to believe. So at $4.6 million market cap, this thing was at $3,000. But in today's world, almost $11 billion will only get you to about, I don't know, what we were at as a high, 630, 650, something like that. Think about the difference in what we're saying here. Come on, go to price. I love when it's not doing anything. All right, cool. Not cooperating. Come on. Anyways, you get the point. The market cap, let's make sure we get the exact same day. October 28th, 2016. On that day, the price was $3,191. And we're only as good as our data is here, so hopefully this data is correct. So we went October 28th. There it is. It's like the first day. October 28th, 2016. The market cap was $1.3 million. This is tokenomics, and this is how important it is. Again, we are assuming, because this is going all the way back to 2016, we are assuming that the API and the data that they're using to make this is accurate. But I bet it probably is. So in October 28th, 2016, Zcash with $1.3 million in it, say even $1.5 million in it, was only like $3,000 or higher per coin. In today's tokenomic environment for Zcash, meaning a lot more coins are out now, 10.9, almost $11 billion Think of the difference. 1.3 million, $11 billion. And that $11 billion in market cap only gets you to roughly $600, $650. Do you see the difference? That is Tokenomics 101. Welcome to Underground Crypto Deep Dive Show. We will be transferring now into the Underground Hangout. We've gone over a lot of heavy information, and I'm sure your brain needs a break. This is your captain speaking. Thank you for coming aboard. Chainers is a lot of fun. I need one more regular fertilizer here. Campsta says, what is the measured move for BTC dumping on the monthly when you're finished with your Zcash deep dive? Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go check that out real quick. So he wants the monthly measured move for BTC to the downside. Let's take a look. The monthly. And I know that the Lifer has shown multiple times this big head and shoulders pattern, right? For the monthly. And I mean shoulder, head, shoulder. Looks like a shoulder, head, and shoulder to me. The measured move is nasty though. Like, and if you don't cheat it and you take it true like top to bottom, it's like 4,000. It's not good. Here's a question though, right? Here's a question. What would make Bitcoin go to like $6,000? And unfortunately, I don't want to be somebody who feeds any kind of negative narrative, right? But crypto got really crushed when the Trump coin came out. But why? It wasn't because of Trump. It wasn't because of anything like that. It was because a highly speculative coin came out that everybody pretty much agreed, hey, this is it. What is about to come out? SpaceX is supposed to IPO. And I think there's another, what's the other one? I know that there's talk about SpaceX and Tesla eventually merging. I don't know if that'll happen. But the SpaceX IPO is going to suck a bunch of money out of all kinds of different markets as people sell things that they're in profit with to get things that they think are going to be the next winner for the next, I don't know, 5-10 years. Is that a big enough narrative? It's a question. Is that a big enough narrative that long-term, big money, high accumulative Bitcoin holders would sell their Bitcoin and try to be really early on SpaceX? I don't know. I don't know if I 100% buy that as a narrative, but it's there. It's definitely there. Blues Guy says he's fallen asleep. Blues Guy, I thought you had endless energy and you never sleep. That's what you just told us. You're not allowed to fall asleep. Absolutely unacceptable. I'm just messing with you, man. Get some sleep if you need it. Zcash said Zcash. What am I talking about? Camsta says I got it down to 16K. I don't see BTC going below a 1 trillion market cap. Yeah, and this is like a very doomsday kind of speculation here. This right here does look very similar to this right here, in my opinion, right? And then you had the bear market, and then you had a pretty amazing bull market, right? I mean, you could be more conservative with this measured move and get rid of the wicks, even though that's not how we pull measured moves at all. And that does give you about 18,000. And it is acting like that is the POC, the point of control here. Which is weird to me because I don't feel like there's enough price action there to make that the POC, but you know, the VRVP says otherwise. I don't think it'll go to 16K. That's just what I calculated the measure move as. My problem is I use the red wick of the top of the right shoulder. Huh? The top of the right. This one? Top of the right shoulder. So, shoulder, left, head, right shoulder. And you use the red wig. I don't know what you're saying, but assuming that this is the shoulder, head, and shoulder, the measured move would be what you see me drawing here. And I was doing it very conservatively. If you take it wick to wick, and then you move it to the neckline, which, you know, I'll get rid of this here, but if you draw the neckline, right, that would technically be how you would take the measured move. And that says 6,000. I don't think that we're going to see a $6,000 Bitcoin. What I'm actually more looking at is what happened here. What happened? We ran up after that. And so that's what I'm more hoping for, but there could be more downward action as far as a couple of months here. So it came out a little higher. Yeah, I was doing it wrong. Thanks. No problem. But look at this. This kind of started falling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I counted that fast. It's like 13, 14 months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there could be several more months of this. You know, it could be back down to this region here, right? Hang out, go sideways before potentially getting a pump. Now, completely speculation. I have absolutely no idea. But for whatever reason, this top, I'll leave it at this. This top right here really reminds me of that top right there. And I'm sure lots of people are looking at monthlies and weeklies and stuff and trying to make sense. Now, if you come into the weekly instead of the monthly, you are right at the weekly 200-day moving average. And that seemed to give us a nice bounce in price here. Is that going to happen again? Is this a cup and handle? I don't know. I do see like a shoulder, head, and shoulder. Kind of slanted inverted head and shoulder there. Which, it's funny when a lot of it converges. This right here is your measured move. Whether it's the measured move for the inverted head and shoulder, whether it is the measured move for your cup and handle, whether it is your measured move for your falling wedge. And literally the measured move for your inverted head and shoulder and your cup and handle is exactly the same. Where if it's the measured move for a falling wedge or something, you know, then it does change it to be a little bit lower here. But let's assume that it's for a cup and handle or the inverted head and shoulder. You're looking at 100,000. So we'll see. We will see. We'll be here 6 days a week for you. Now the weekly stochastic was overbought. Now it looks like it's coming down. I'm sure the monthly is bottom. You know, the monthly is like super bottomed out. So it has a ton of upside, but they move very slow. So it would take a lot of months, right? Look at this. From here, right, where it's bottomed, correlating with that, to where it first kind of topped out, which was here, was a lot of months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like 16 months from that bottom to top stochastic RSI. All just food for thought, guys. All just food for thought. And again, I hope you have enjoyed the show. Let me move you guys back over from TradingView. And I love it when people have questions. Give the channel some direction. And of course, prioritizing the undergrounders and the community. Camps says, thanks. Absolutely, brother. You are more than welcome. I appreciate your constant, support and viewership and showing up with your own opinions. I know a lot of people don't like contrary opinions. I love contrary opinions because they challenge me to reevaluate whatever I was already thinking, right? And there's a lot of power in that. That's how you get out of an echo chamber. That's how you get unstuck from an idea that you just got in your head. But if you get offended by people who challenge your beliefs and stuff, you're far more likely to stay in an echo chamber, stay where you're comfortable, stay where it feels safe, stay where it feels like everybody agrees with you, and therefore never have to listen to anybody else's opinions that challenge your own opinions. I love challenging opinions. Philosophics is, I think, one of the most important things in the world. People who don't take the time to study philosophics, I think, is crazy. And for people who the only time they've ever talked anything philosophical was like in a class in college, and they haven't been in college for 15 years, 20 years, you're really missing out if you don't go back and revisit some philosophics. And there's all kinds of different philosophics, right? Just deep thought, I guess, is what you could consider philosophical. And that is like my Jim Rohn style motivation, encouraging, part of the stream. And again, we are in the Underground Crypto Hangout. Feel free to ask whatever questions you want. Let me see. Let me take a preview here. Is it worth doing a members only stream tonight? I know a lot of people kind of got hurt. Put a 111 in the chat if you plan on coming to the members only live stream. Let me know. Let's see how many people say they're coming over to the members only live stream. Very interested to find out here. So far, nobody. Blues guy, I think he's asleep. Although he's never tired. Sleeping, he's just resting his eyes, right? He's not sleeping, he's just resting his eyes. Sounds like something like my grandma would tell me, or my grandfather would tell me, that they're not sleeping, they're just resting their eyes for a little while. Until they start snoring. Alright, let's craft some rods here. Oh, we don't have enough stones. We need to go fishing. Let's go fishing. see what we catch here. We got seaweed. Well, that's no fun. Oh, we got halibut. All right, I'm going to give it a couple more minutes, but if not a single person says, hey, I'm coming to the members only live stream, then I'm feeling like there might not be a members only live stream tonight. Says, was away watching Lifer's update. What did I miss? Oof, that's a tough question, Cryptic Quentin. I don't know how long you've been gone. How long were you gone for? If it was an update in the Lifer Discord, then it was probably only 2-3 minutes, right? Probably wasn't the last hour. Did you pick up the sauce we were laying down about move language, move EVM? What makes Sui blockchain very different from a lot of other blockchains? Oh, like 10 minutes. Then you didn't miss much. We're just hanging out at this part. He says, hey QT, let's go to the members only live stream. He says, have you looked at Lab today? Yes, we definitely have looked at Lab today. Lab is one that's hard to ignore. And I mean, it dipped all the way to $6 and bounced all the way back to like 17 something. Man, that would have been a killer buy and exit so fast. That would have been pretty spectacular, I say. I wasn't watching Lab today, that's for sure. And think about how many people they flushed on leverage with that dump. Oh man, a lot of people got flushed who were on big leverage. Some people lost some big money today on that one. We often forget about that. Yeah, I was there for that. I know we've been waiting to short it from the top, missed it. Hey, that happened. They never make it easy, right? It's kind of like with anything with BTC. They never give you the entries you think you're going to get. Never, it's never easy. Bitcoin will go to the price that you thought you wanted, but you won't. Somehow they'll shake you out, right? And other coins do the exact same type of stuff. Let's see, I need 2 more rods here. Let's see if we can get them. Let's go fishing 2 more times. Oh, I'm out of money. Oh, that's unfortunate. Let's see, I've heard I can go sell some junk in the retreat here, but I haven't done it yet. What is this? A raffle? I think this is where we sell the junk here. Huh. I thought we could sell it though. I don't just want like points. Okay, so you can buy stuff there. Where do we sell it? Said, I heard top 10 wallets hold most of the supply. Another rave DAO. And don't be surprised if the same people who are behind what Rave DAO did have just moved on, to the next thing. Don't be surprised if Lab is the next thing. You just want to figure out what might be the next thing for them before they move the next thing, right? Wonder how much juice it has left in the tank. That is always what I'm thinking about, right? Look at this guy. He's like tied to a post. He looks just like me. That's not cool. Thought I was able to sell all this stuff somewhere for some money. Guess not. Let's look at our Fogo fish in here. What are we up to? 1.2 million? Really like 1.4 million fish tokens. Probably worth $5 if I'm lucky. And it is nice to kind of hang out after such a heavy stream there. I'm crazy enough, I might just go back and read all of that stuff to you guys again right now. Then everybody will really sign off. I'm just messing. I won't do that to you. You'll have to rewatch the stream if you want all that. Haven't played Z-Verse in a while. I want to play Z-Verse. I just don't have the time. Bonk token scan on ETH. Risk 5. Not a honeypot. Guava wallet intelligence. Huh? Okay. So guavaintel.com it says. Guava wallet intelligence. Not bundled. Scan any token free. Okay, so Guava wallet is the scanner, I assume. Skip through a lot of this arbitrage nonsense. And there is a lot of it. Under collateralized lending via ZK reputations is finally gaining traction in DeFi. Could this be the spark that brings billion unbanked people into the global economy? I sure hope so, because we need them so that we can have some exit liquidity. Let's go. That's not what you're supposed to say. I get it. A lot of arbitrage signals, absolute nonsense here. Looking for real stuff. Hyperliquid daily snapshot. He says these red numbers in the bloody markets gets me more motivated. Future brand new bag, huh? Futures. I don't know. You guys like whatever you like. I don't listen to Future. I think that's lame. But I get why he posted that. Hey, Aura is turning everyday wellness into a rewarding on-chain experience. By blending gamified habit tracking with decentralized incentives, users earn tokens for meeting fitness, meditation, and sleep goals, all while data private and self-owned. See, that's cool, but you gotta think, how are you earning anything? Who's paying for it? Who's like, I'm gonna pay so the whole world can hit their fitness goals? Like, I just don't. If it is money, it's probably very little actual money. Lurk and Learn. It's a funny name right there. Injective launches Vulcan mainnet upgrade proposal. Stablecoin RWAs and trading integration in single settlement layers. Kind of reminds me that I put a proposal in on the Arbitrum network, and I put a proposal in the OP Optimism network, right? And it's under review. I don't know if they've actually done it. I assume I could show it off. I mean, it's a public thing. I don't know why it would be a big deal. literally decentralized blockchain, right? But I don't know if they ever approved it or not. Some of the stuff in here makes your head like spin. The vulnerability was discovered in an L1 time lock contract, which forms part of Arbitrum's governance smart contract system. Whoa. I don't know how far down that rabbit hole I want to go. How to submit a DAO proposal 101. Form, foundation, let's see. Do I have mail? About your proposal. Let's check this out. This is Syncus from Arbitrum OPCO, message regarding proposal that's currently waiting approval. These kinds of proposals typically flowed through a dedicated grant program that DAO had funded Questbook. Yeah, but it's over. That program ended back in March and hasn't been renewed since. The Arbitrum Foundation has a grant program, but I'm not sure if educational content falls within its scope. From previous experiences, it's highly unlikely that delegates would vote in favor of such a proposal as a standalone thing. My recommendation is to wait until a grant program is structured again that can fund things like this. Alternatively, I can still approve the post, but just know that it will be nearly impossible to get it through governance. Available for questions. I will have to formulate a reply to that. Let's go look at optimism. You guys are probably like, what in the world are you doing, right? What in the absolute world are you doing proposing things to different blockchains? They put my account on hold, which was really not weird. I mean, I made an account and I put in a proposal. I guess they didn't like that. But they should have got to that quicker. That's way too slow. In the modern world, it's been 3 days. Like, you need to review my account. Anyways, guys, that's been the show. He says, Sui back down to 80 cents. I need a loan. Yeah. I'm about to buy some more Sui, that's for sure. Some Sui. A little tiny bit of Mega ETH. I was ready for it too. Not sure what you're referring to, Melissa. What were you ready for? But anyways, guys, I'm pretty beat tonight, and I didn't see a whole lot of demand for the members-only stream. So I'm going to use that opportunity to get some other things done. I have some cool things I'm building. I was just showing you, trying to get some funding for the stream so that I could actually dedicate more full time to crypto. That is the dream. That is going to be my reality. Now, will that be 1 year or 5 years or 6 years? I don't know, but one day it will be my reality. Mark my words. You go over stuff again. It says, thanks for the stream, man. Melissa wants me to go over this stuff again. Let's do it. Let's do it just for Melissa, right? And for myself, because repetition is the father of learning. So kick back, relax. Good night, Underground. Hold on 1 minute, Crypto Quentin. I'm going to go over the topic of the day again for Melissa, because she's always here for me. So I believe that she deserves it, and I'm going to benefit. All of you guys will benefit if you'll listen. Again, this information we go over, in my opinion, is the most important part of the stream. Maybe it's not. Maybe you like the charts. Maybe you like the new tokens coming out. Trust me, this is the most important part of the stream. For years, the Ethereum virtual machine has been one of the most important pieces of crypto infrastructure. It gave developers a shared environment, a common standard, a place where smart contracts could be written, deployed, copied, upgraded, forked, and reused across ecosystems. That is why Ethereum Virtual Machine became so powerful. Melissa, if we hit any points of anything you really don't understand, feel free to ask, because I'm very much doing this so that you can, double down on this. So don't be afraid to ask me questions. Once a developer learns Solidity, which is the coding language of the Ethereum virtual machine, right? And EVM-based deployment, so how to deploy it, how to code it, how to deploy it, they could build across Ethereum and many Ethereum-compatible chains. And believe me, almost all the chains are compatible with Ethereum. That network effect is massive, right? You could build one time and implement what you built across many different ecosystems. But every dominant system eventually creates a question. Is this the best possible design? Or was it simply the design that won or made the most sense at first? That is where Move-based chains become interesting. Move is a coding language. Move was invented by Facebook. Not literally Facebook, when they incubated Diem and the stable coin to go with that whole ecosystem and stuff, and they got shut down and they were told no by Congress and stuff like that. Here in America, way ahead of their time. Move as a language, and the developers and all the people who were hired who worked on all of that, well, they didn't just leave. They took what they had and they moved somewhere else. Move does not just try to be another programming language. So it's saying it's more than just a programming language. It starts from a different assumption altogether. And crypto assets are not just numbers in a database. They are digital objects with ownership, transfer rules, permissions, and security requirements. Move was designed with digital assets in mind from the beginning. And that matters because smart contracts, mistakes, can be extremely expensive. A bug in a traditional software can crash an app. No big deal, right? But a bug in crypto can drain a treasury for millions and millions, maybe even billions of dollars. Or just break a protocol altogether. Permanently lose users' funds. So the argument behind Move is pretty simple. If blockchain apps are going to manage valuable digital assets, maybe programming model should treat assets as first-class citizens. Sui takes that idea and builds an entire architecture around objects. So the takeaway here is Sui heavily focuses on objects. And what are objects? Objects are, things like NFTs, the ownership representation of something, right? So instead of thinking only in terms of account balances or contract storage, so reverse engineer this. They're saying that EVM, compatible programming, Solidity language, thinks in terms of account balances and contract storage, where Sui emphasizes programmable objects. So Sui, in its Move language, emphasizes or focuses on programmable objects. So there's a whole concept here called programmable objects that represents user-level assets. Sui documentation describes objects as a central concept, and Sui's documentation describes the network as using an asset-orientated programming model powered by the Move language. Movement enters this conversation from a totally different angle. Movement is trying to bring Move virtual machine based infrastructure into a broader ecosystem where developers can build scalable and secure applications. Scalability, a huge problem in the Web3 space. And when you do scale a Web3 project or application, security becomes a huge problem. So they go in tandem, right? Bitcoin trilemma. It's official site describes Movement as a layer 1 blockchain built using EVM. So it would be in common with Sui because they use this Move virtual machine. While Binance Research has described Movement as a Move EVM layer 2 for Ethereum, the difference in framing is worth paying attention to because Movement's broader pitch has centered around combining Move-based benefits with Ethereum style liquidity and users. So they're saying, hey, let's bring in Move because it focuses on objects and ownership and treats them as first-class citizens and makes them, the focus of the blockchain. But we don't want to create this environment, and this is Movement, not so much Sui, but we don't want to create an environment where it's Move versus EVM. That is a David versus Goliath kind of scenario. And if they do that, they almost kind of position themselves to lose, right? It's a David and Goliath. Although most people are familiar with the point of the story of David and Goliath, don't think that that the smaller thing always wins over the bigger thing. That's not how it always works. And that's what made David and Goliath such a monumental story, is because you got a result that was very different from what the result would normally be. And that brings us to the deeper question. Is the future of crypto, mostly Ethereum virtual machine, compatible? Since it's already really locked in, it's huge, most developers use it. It is just the path of least resistance. Or do new types of apps require different architecture? So in the current EVM, Ethereum Solidity language, there are certain things that are hard to do, like scalability of Web3 apps is one of them. And there's a whole list of things that are not easy for us to do right now using current modern blockchain technology. So we need new types of architecture to do things that we haven't been able to do. And I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. So that is what today's stream is really about. Not just Movement as a project or foundation, and not just Sui as a movement or a blockchain or a foundation, but whether the next generation of blockchain applications needs something fundamentally different under the hood in order to do things that we normally wouldn't be able to do. That was the intro to the topic. How y'all feeling? Melissa, she's writing it down. Cryptic Quentin says, hell yeah, exactly. So we went from good night to let's re-educate you and let's use the power of repetition to really foster some learning. And I'm going to quiz Blues Guy tomorrow about this stuff because I know he's sleeping. The EVM won because of network effects. So we're coming back to Ethereum virtual machine and why it's predominant. So the EVM became dominant because it had the strongest developer mindshare. That matters. In crypto, developers do not want to rebuild everything from scratch every time they move to a new ecosystem. This is why Movement taking the direction of using the Move language but making it compatible with Ethereum virtual machine is literally genius, and that is probably going to be kind of the make or break point in if this stuff catches on or doesn't catch on. Instead of trying to fight with Ethereum virtual machine for dominance or mindshare in the space, just group it all together and embrace interoperability, which just means things working together. So developers do not want to rebuild everything from scratch, right? They want familiar tooling, things that they're familiar with, wallet support, smart contract standards, existing libraries to pull from, infrastructure providers, and liquidity. The Ethereum virtual machine created a kind of shared language across crypto. That is why so many chains choose to become Ethereum virtual machine compatible. That's why that is a big deal to them. But dominance creates inertia. Once a system becomes standard, people keep building on it because everyone else is already there. And developers want to build where the users are. And that does not always mean it's the best possible design, just means it's the most commonly accepted one. It means it has the strongest ecosystem gravity. So why some chains want to move beyond EVM, right? If all the developers are there and all the users are there, why would anybody even want to move beyond that? Or why would they care about anything else? So the EVM was not just originally designed for every possible future crypto use. It became the default because it worked, not because it solved everything perfectly. Newer chains are asking whether crypto needs a different foundation for asset safety, parallel execution gaming, consumer apps, high throughput applications, and more complex ownership models. This is why Move matters. Move-based ecosystems are not just trying to copy Ethereum, very much not the case. They are asking whether digital assets should be represented and handled differently at the programming level. That is much deeper design question than which chain is simply faster. That conversation almost becomes mute at some point. What makes Move different? Move was designed specifically with digital assets in mind. So Move as a programming language and an implementation is around digital assets. First, that means assets can be treated more like resources with strict rules around ownership, movement, and access. This is important because in crypto, assets are the product, right? Tokens, NFTs, game items, stablecoins, lending positions, governance, right? These are all forms of digital assets. Move, the programming language, tries to make it harder for developers to accidentally duplicate, lose, or mishandle those assets. This does not mean that Move eliminates all of the risk. Smart contracts can still have a bug. But it does mean that the language was designed around the reality that blockchain programs control valuable assets. That is the central difference here. Sui's object-based model changes the mental model. Sui is one of the clearest examples of Move-based blockchain design. Sui does not just use Move as a language, as a programming language. It builds around the idea of objects. I couldn't say it enough. That is the focus here. On Sui, objects are basic units of data storage, and they can represent user-level assets with ownership and programmable attributes. This matters because it changes how developers think. Instead of only asking, what is the balance of an account, developers can think in terms of what object does this user own? What are the rules attached to this object? How can it be transferred, modified, used, combined, or upgraded? This can be very useful for things like gaming assets, NFTs, digital identity, ownership-based apps, consumer crypto experience. That is why Sui is often discussed in relation to high-throughput apps and asset-heavy experiences. Now we shift from Sui to Movement. Movement is the foundation. It's a project. Movement's bet is to bring Move Virtual Machine into a wider wider crypto environment or wider crypto ecosystem. Movement is interesting because it is trying to make Move-based execution more accessible in a broader ecosystem. Its official documentation frames Movement as an ecosystem for interacting with Move-based architecture. And its official site describes it as a layer 1 blockchain built using Move virtual machine for scalable and secure application. The bigger idea is that developers may want Move's safety and performance benefits without the complete abandoning of crypto's existing users and liquidity. That is why Movement often gets discussed around the idea of bridging Move and EVM worlds. The pitch is basically this. Can we get the asset safety and performance benefits from Move while still connecting to the broader Ethereum style crypto economy? If we can do that, all of this can work and it can be quite amazing. But it still has to be pulled off, right? That is a very interesting bet, because if successful, it could reduce the trade-off between new architecture and existing ecosystem access. Cryptic Quentin says, man, I wish I longed CLO when I joined the stream. Yeah, hey, we were talking about it. I'm doing the show, so it's hard for me to hop in and out of all these things, but I'm pretty locked into this because this is super interesting to me. This is really a battle between compatibility and reinvention. EVM has the compatibility. Move has that reinvention energy. That creates real tension. EVM chains benefit from existing developers, existing tooling, liquidity, and user familiarity. And Move chains benefits from asset-orientated design. That would be what I'd write down next to Move, right? I'd write Move equals asset-orientated design. So Move chains benefit from potential safety advantages, different execution models, and fresh architecture. The question is not simply which one is better. The better question, when is compatibility more important, and when is the reinvention worth it? That is the trade-off these newer chains are testing. The risk here. Better architecture does not automatically win, right? This is important. Crypto history shows us that better technology doesn't always win. Sometimes it's way ahead of its time. Ecosystems win when they attract developers, users, liquidity, application, culture, trust. A technically impressive chain can still fail if nobody builds anything meaningful on top of it. So for Movement and Sui, the question is not only is Move interesting, because being interesting by itself is not useful enough to bring adoption. The question is, can Move-based ecosystems create applications that users actually care about? Because architecture matters most when it produces better user experience. And the bigger question, what apps actually need Move? This is the deepest part of this stream. Move-based architecture becomes more compelling if it unlocks apps that are hard to build elsewhere. Potential examples, right? And again, I can't stress this enough. Move as a language, right? As a coding language, as being adopted by the Sui ecosystem and the Sui blockchain being built around this Move-based architecture will win if it unlocks on-chain gaming, complex NFTs, programmable assets, identity objects, consumer apps with many owned items in them, real-world asset systems, and high-frequency asset interaction. If Move simply becomes another place to trade tokens, the thesis is weaker, the adoption doesn't happen, there's nothing about it that is significant, and it'll probably eventually fade into irrelevance. But, and when we say but, we're saying look out for this. If Move-based chains create better asset-heavy applications, then the thesis becomes much stronger, meaning the adoption and its relevance price go up becomes a much stronger possibility. So the real question is, what application become meaningfully better because they're built on Move? That is what we should watch for. And the core insight, of course, is that the Ethereum virtual machine has ecosystem gravity, first mover advantage. Move has architectural ambition. The question is whether ambition can attract enough real users and developers to matter. And that is the main idea of tonight's episode. We did it again. Because repetition is the father of learning. And you can say all of the cool little snippets and the cool little quotes, like our quote of the day. But if you don't implement them, if you're not willing to do the repetition, if I, as the person running the stream, don't showcase that, then it's all a bunch of empty words. So if you want something you never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. And doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So, I hope you enjoyed the stream. I am actually going to go ahead and run off now. That was a lot of fun and somewhat unexpected as an end of a stream. I hope Melissa benefited greatly from me going back over that. I hope everybody has a good night, and I will see everybody tomorrow. Let's see, we've been streaming for 2.5 hours. It says I understand it a little more now. Thank you. And she said thank you again. No, thank you for everything you always do for me. Glad to do it. It was a lot of fun. And I benefited from that as well. Thank you, Melissa, for the super chat. I greatly appreciate that. And again, she said, what would you do? Sell your BTC and run into AI stocks or buy lower price crypto? Personally, I'd buy lower price crypto, but that's just me because I'm underground crypto, right? Anyways, have a great night. Stay underground, stay crypto, underground crypto, out.